Alright guys, so we can burn off some of the threads here just so they don't come undone. Alright, so step number 4, you will find on the heel tab OV4. That means it's just overlaid. So there are different ways of doing the heel tab. One way is you can put double-sided tape along this edge and you tape it right here. You do this stitch over the collar and then you fold it. That's if you want the stitch to be under the tab. But since I want this stitch to be over the tab, I need to stitch the tab on down the sides first and then fold it. All right, it'll make sense in a minute, guys. So first, just put double-sided tape on the back of this, just one strip here. Okay. And I don't know if I told you, but the double-sided tape, you can get it on Amazon or pretty much anywhere, fabric stores, but just try to find the one that's not going to gum up your needles as much. I think there's one that's specifically made for stitching. And one end of this has a little curve in it. You see that little curve goes right here on the bottom. It should line up perfectly there and there. Don't fold it yet. Just place them here and here. And now I'm just going to go stitch 2 parallel lines on the sides. Okay, good. Okay guys, so I just stitched parallel lines up here, and as you can see I just kind of went around it. It doesn't matter, you're not going to see that because we're going to fold it down like this. So these go folded down, and if you want, get your hammer. Make sure all this is nice and tight. I know it may not seem like much, but little things here that, I mean, from the beginning you got to be right on target, or else this can move this way and this will shift your whole left side of your shoe or right side of your shoe down. So just kind of make sure you're lining them up as best you can from the beginning, and it should look something like this after step 4. All right, let's go on to step 5, which, if you'll find here, it's overlay 5. So we're going to look for our heel piece and overlay it. Sheesh. So here are heel pieces. Let's put some tape. You can glue them, spray glue them, cement, do whatever you want. But if we glued, then we would have to sand all these edges. So I just use this double-sided tape. It's just temporary. Hold it in place until we stitch it. And this is why it's important to skive. I will show you why. And actually I should have skived this little tab as well, but I skipped that part because I can actually feel a bump here. I should have skived that. So I did skive all around the lower edge of the white part, and I will show you why that is important. So these are the 2 little marks from the pattern that should not be cut out. Do not cut them out like this. That's just because cut them out on the laser, but they should line up here. And then you're just gonna go around and put it up really close to your swoosh, and it should line up there, and it should line up with this other notch down here. So push down on it and see, because I skived here, you can't really see the bump here, but here obviously you can. All right, so let's continue on this side. Just like that. It should line up there, and this line should line up as well. Good. All right guys, so we're done stitching. Just stitched all around here and here. Now we're on to step number 6, and we'll find the 2 pieces that have OV6. This is an overlaid. This piece is going to go laid on top of this one. We're going to try and line up these notches down here and it should line up something like that. And remember, we're only going to stitch up to here. Stop there and start again here at this line. Stop there, start here, stop there. All right, so 3 stitches, 1, 2, 3. All right, first we will put this aside. We're done with this. These we're gonna tape. There. All right. What else am I missing? Okay, so you see I cut a little bit off here with the skyver, but that's okay. All right, so there we go. We are going to go stitch these 3. 1, 2, 3. All right, I'll be back. All right, so let's go on to the next step. Which is number 7, and we will find number 7 on this piece, number 7, OV7. So as we know, OV means overlaid, and we will just overlay this right here like that, and we will stitch from here. And this is what I was talking about when we're going to go over the back tab. So we're just going to stitch over it. If you wanted to go under it, then you would have done this, for example. You would have stitched it here first, gone over the stitch, then folded it, and then you do the red heel piece on top of this. So this is the steps to do over the tab, right? So I'm gonna put some tape on here, and then we are going to stitch them. This is step number 7. Actually, I ran out of, I usually use size 16 or 18 needles. I think I use size 18 mostly, and I ran out. And this is a size 16, and I think I like this on. Maybe it's just the suede that's softer, but I like the size 16 as well. Always learning, guys. Learn something new. Like how to take this tape off. Good thing is we know it's holding on strong. This way, and then we work our way this way. Make sure this is Alright, so I'm going to do this to the other one, and then I'm going to stitch this, and then I'll be back. Alright guys, so let's talk about these liners again. So we got our medial side, and our medial side is going to go here, so you kind of make sure this is the right one. It is, and we are going to start up here on the top part in case they don't line up perfectly. We can send that easier to the bottom where the lasting allowance is. So this is what it's going to look like when you start. All right, so don't freak out and try and keep it straight the whole time. It's okay. And you got about a 2.5 or 3 millimeter allowance on the right here. That's how far you should be from the edge. And you see I'm going a few stitches and then straightening it out. Being careful not to pull too much on one. Kind of holding them even. should finish up pretty even at the bottom. All right, so when you open this, you got a nice butterfly stitch. If you want to get fancy, I'll show you how to do that with this as well. Okay, but let's finish all the stitches first, and then we'll get fancy. Okay guys, so we stitched our liners, step number 8. Now, I told you I was gonna show you how to make them look fancy. So, first thing we're gonna do is kind of open up this stitch on the back. And if you want, you can put some glue or just a little tiny bit of maybe double-sided tape or glue to hold these stitches back. All right, so we want them to open up and fold back down like this. So it should look something like that. And then I will get my double-sided tape. I'm sorry, my fabric tape, reinforcement tape. And I'm going to make sure it's open here. I'm going to put up, kind of as I'm going, I'm going to lay the tape down as I'm going, opening up the material here, laying it flat. And cut off the excess later, don't worry about that. There it is. All right, now that we got the reinforcement tape on the back, I'm gonna go and stitch 2 lines on the sides here. All right, I'll be right back. Cut. Okay, so once you got your reinforcement tape on the back, you got these laid flat. Let's start on this. I don't know what you call this stitch. I see it a lot in cars and furniture. A French seam, French stitch, I don't know. Looks nice though. And all this on the left side of this registration mark is going to be cut off, so don't. That's why I'm just stitching over it. It's going to be cut off, so don't worry about that. All right. Okay, so we're done with our fancy stitch here. Gonna go over it. Flatten it a little on this. This is actually lambskin. Sometimes I use cow hides or calf. I happen to have this nice black lambskin that I wanted to try, so there you go. There is your butterfly stitch with the little added extra. Actually, we have another butterfly 8 on the tongue liner, 8/8. So Doesn't matter which one you do first. I think this was a typo. They're both number 8. Doesn't matter which one you do first. So just 8 or 9, 9 or 8. You guys will figure it out. So the next is the liner. All right, so we're gonna do the same thing. Same thing we did here. Same thing we did here. We are going to do here. All right, so you're gonna stitch it here and open it, hammer it down, tape it, and do your fancy stitching. All right, so let's go get the tongues done. All right, guys, so I just pretty much did the same thing with the tongue liner. All right, so liners are good for now. Let's set these aside.